What's up, guys? About a year ago, I made a video detailing how I use high-frequency training in a weekly split, and I want to do an update on that. It's been a few years since I followed this protocol, and I want to show the newer, refined version of what I've been doing with this routine. So with that said, let's take a look at it. So kicking off the week is vertical strength day. Like the other 5 days you'll see, the idea here is to have less sets but more overall intensity and pushing myself closer to failure. Now, since this is a strength day, I'm doing movements like the L-sit pull-ups here. They're going to challenge me more than normal pull-ups. But the idea is to keep the intensity high, the sets relatively low, and more quality overall work. Moving on to Tuesday, we have horizontal athletic day. Now, I try to shoot for the same amount of sets as Monday, if not a little bit less, just because a day like this is going to require more athletic and explosive movements that are just going to be dynamic in nature. So therefore, I'm just putting overall more immediate output and power than I might be on other days. I should also add that I do a skill that I begin each session with. So for example, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are handstand days. Now we're on to Wednesday, which is your vertical functional day. This is pretty much just your bread and butter exercises, so your basic pull-ups, dips, weighted squats, rotational wood chops, so on and so forth. This is typically a day where I do your standard movements and maybe even do different functional versions of those movements just to kind of get back to basics and really hone in things that I may not be working on other days. Thursdays are horizontal strength days. So like the vertical strength days, the focus here is just pushing myself as close as I can to failure with more difficult exercises. So I'm doing more skills like crow poses and L-sits for time to start out the day in combination with weighted push-ups, weighted rows, other kinds of things that are going to push me with lower reps but still get me close to failure under load. Now for Fridays, we have vertical athletic days. A day like this, again, is focused more on explosive athletic training. So skills usually include a handstand, and if I can get there, I will also do climbing on this day. In addition to that, it's just, higher output, more powerful, explosive movements. So doing things like 2-finger pull-ups and other movements that are going to be lower rep, but get me to failure much higher and really, really push myself to kind of keep working and training for things athletically. And now to Saturday, I wrap up my training week with a horizontal functional day. So like vertical functional day, this day is also meant for just bread and butter, basic exercises at higher reps, kind of building that capacity and just kind of getting that bread and butter sort of work in. In addition to that, this is another day where I will do a fair amount of cardio, and definitely if the weather's nice enough, I will take advantage of that and go on distance runs and kind of get outside and do more of my cardio out there. And that is my updated training schedule using high frequency training. I really like it, and it's definitely a style of training that I didn't want to abandon. The thing that I learned from last year's video is that sometimes you can only add in so much volume, especially when you're trying to incorporate other movement patterns like hinges and rotational and anti-rotational movements. There's only so much you can do with proper intensity to kind of get you to where you want to go without burnout or injuries. I can say for certain that there was times where I was training a little too hard and was pushing myself in the wrong way and getting injuries. On the flip side, there was days where I felt like I was just getting a little too much junk volume in. Now, fortunately, I've been able to dial it in, and I'm seeing even more results that I've seen before. For example, the video that you're watching right now is my current personal best for my handstand hold time. So I'm pretty excited about that. I still recommend this style of training to people, and hopefully I've shown you guys what you can do with it. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you guys next time.